Hi, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for joining us. My name is Norma Cavazos. I am the school board president. Today, we are here at a special meeting of the Board of Trustees of Harlandale ISD. It is Wednesday, March 30th, 2022. It is 6:15, and I will do roll call. Ms. Carrillo? Present. Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Limon? Here. Thank you, Mr. Moreno.
Present, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Ortiz. Here. Thank you, Mr. Mancha.
Present.
Mr. Luna?
Presente.
Thank you. We do have a quorum. Mr. Soto?
Madam Chair, Board of Trustees, Harlandale Family. Tonight, we have Mr. Richard Hernandez, Assistant Superintendent for Business. We have our Executive Director of Operations, Dr. Hinojosa.
Here.
Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum Instruction, Ms. Casey.
Here.
Our Executive Director of Human Resources, Dr. Salinas.
Here.
And our Public Information Officer, Mariana Veraza.
Here. Thank you very much, Mr. Soto. Agenda item 2 is public comment. I believe no one signed up for public comment. Is that correct, Ms. Patty? Thank you very much. Moving on to agenda item 3, individual item. Mr. Soto?
Yes, ma'am. At this time, Ms. Casey is going to give us, Ms. Casey and Dr. Salinas will tag team this item.
Thank you,
Yes.
sir.
Thank you so much. Yes, Madam President and School Board, we would like to request the purchase of Cardonics Master Scheduling and Staffing Solution Software for a 1-year renewal subscription. Ms. Casey and I actually saw this presented at the TASB conference in Galveston. And it's actually a scheduling software that's used by a lot of districts. It helps us with efficiency of staffing. It helps us with student requests and balancing of classrooms. We did have an information session put on by Cardonics, and in that session, we had CNI, we had information services, human resources, counseling coordinator, and finance involved in that. We were all quite impressed with the software. They do have some special patents that makes this software very different from other scheduling software that we have seen. It will help us with maximizing staff capability. All of the decisions will be based on data, based on student choice sheets and course selections. And it's also just going to help us with time saving for our staff for master scheduling. This is only for secondary campuses, middle school and high school.
Ms. Casey, did you want to add anything to that?
No, ma'am. We have all, like she said, all of us we've met multiple times with them. And we've included our guidance and counseling coordinator as well as Mr. Littlefield, who oversees our district master schedule, and we're all in agreement.
Thank you, ma'am. Are there any questions or comments from my colleagues for Dr. Salinas or Ms. Casey?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes,
if I
Mr.
may.
Moreno.
Yeah, so I don't know, Mr. Soto, I know I kind of touched base with you in regards to it, Dr. Salinas or or Ms. Casey. Could you remind me if it's I know we utilize Ascender here as well, right? And so is that's not replacing it? So what we're doing is just supplementing it?
Yes, sir. This would actually work with our student information system, which is Ascender right now. And so this software will help work with Ascender. It will help us input some of the data, but you're still using Ascender. This is not replacing Ascender in any way.
Yeah, because I know sometimes I'm assuming we still we create their schedules off of Ascender and that's how we load it, or how do we do it here?
The course sheets, the selection of course sheets.
Right. So what we will do actually is we can actually have different, what this software is able to do is we can change parameters. If we want to look at an 8-period day, a 9-period day, a 7-period day, then once it will actually create the schedule with all of the information. And then it gives us a step-by-step to our data people on how to input that schedule into Ascender. So it's going to be built in this system, and then we will input it into Ascender.
So it should be like a seamless transition for it, right?
Yes.
Because I know sometimes
Mhm.
whether it's text or Ascender, and so I mean it wasn't talking and it wasn't communicating well, so then we had all these difficulties, and then we were using 2 separate programs to just do discipline and do PEMS and things like that. So this should be as simplistic and streamlined as possible.
Yes.
Okay, thank you guys.
Any other questions or comments? Mr. Luna?
Yeah, so basically we're doing like an innovation of the system, basically where it's like an upgrade, but because I know back way when I'm old school, right? The special ed group needed the data from the regular teacher from the But that's been going on with Ascender for a while, right? So this is just gonna enhance that system?
Yes, sir. And
Okay.
it will also allow us to put in all of the staff certifications so that if we have somebody who's certified, let's say in ELAR and math, I know that's a weird combo, but it would let us know that you might need 2 sections of math and 4 sections of ELAR, and these are the people who can teach those courses.
All right, no comment, no additional comments.
And I guess if I may, Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr. Moreno.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that point up because that's something that does come in handy and we're always in a flux at the end, especially if we're missing or someone decides to not come back on a certain date. So it is handy to have that available because most of the time it's just Dr. Salinas HR that has that accessibility and we don't. So hopefully this makes it easier for our staff and we can structure and reorganize as necessary as Mr. Soto sees fit. So thank you.
Anybody else? Ms. Ortiz?
Yes, ma'am. So I'm assuming this is, and I shouldn't assume, but let me ask the question. This is unique software, and that's why we don't go out to ask anybody else for this that's software capable.
Yes, ma'am. There are other softwares, but they don't have what this software has. And it'll say in this transmittal that there is special 3 actually patents that makes this one unique. So we have other master scheduling software, but this one is the most advanced.
And this is only for secondary campuses?
Right now, it's only secondary campuses. They are looking at a K-12 in the future.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I actually do. So if a parent comes up to me and says, explain to me what that is used for as far as balancing the classrooms, what answer should I give?
Sure. So what this software will do is if we schedule, let's just say 8th period, one science class has 40 kids and another science class has 8. This software is going to let us know very quickly, you need to balance these classrooms. It's going to do it for us. Right now, our counselors have to go through, look to make sure who's in the class, who's not, and go through all the schedules and see who can fit into this other period so we can balance the classrooms. And it is very time consuming. This program will actually do that for you. It will already reorganize all of the students automatically and still keep their electives in place. Because those, as you know, we have to put in different electives first, CTE, athletics. We have some special ed courses that have to be in there. And so those will all be scheduled. And even with the balancing of classes, it's not going to affect the students in any way. We're not going to have them remove them from an elective to place them in a class. This software will help us with all of that.
Okay, so it's basically making sure that we are efficient when it comes to how many students each classroom has. It
Yes,
is
ma'am.
making us more efficient because it's going to take hours from someone having to do the manual labor that they
Yes.
can dedicate more hours to another part of their position or title. And it's going to make sure that no one feels overwhelmed waiting on someone to balance out the number of students from one classroom to another classroom.
Correct. And right now, it could take maybe a week to balance classrooms.
Mhm.
This is going to be very quickly. It could be done in a day
Oh, wow. Okay.
or shorter. Yes.
Okay,
It's
perfect.
once we get all the information and it'll be really quick, like Ms. Casey said, to change the schedule if we need to. If we lose a teacher, we have to look at, do we need to hire the teacher or can we balance the classrooms again? And it will be able to tell us, no, you need to hire a teacher, or no, we can go ahead and move these students and they'll all fit in the schedule still.
I'll share something with you all if I may. So my daughter has one particular class. It's not a core subject. It was an elective and the teacher for whatever reason wasn't able to be there. And so I said, how long is it going to take for y'all to move you to another? She goes, I don't know, Mom, they're working on it. And it did take about a week and a half. And they were still getting instruction and they were still getting assignments and they were still getting tests on it. But the fact that they were kind of just waiting to find out what classroom I'm going to be put in because there was too many of them for one classroom, but not enough for them to have their own classroom. So I appreciate that. As a parent, I appreciate the efficiency a lot. So thank you so much. Any other questions or comments to Ms. Casey or Dr. Salinas?
Yeah, Madam
Yes,
Chair,
Mr. Moreno.
you kind of just hit a light bulb in my head in terms of question. Obviously, I am married to a counselor, so I know how tedious the work is. And so, and I also at times have to build schedules. So, the way it seems like a one-stop set, like, set it and forget it type of thing, it seems a little bit too good to be true. Now, what are the little caveats that we need to be aware of? Because I'm sure there's some aspects of it where, because we're looking at it, I guess more of a holistic district-wide approach versus maybe specific to a campus or a grade level. Because I know at times, I'll give examples at my district, we had where they decided in the middle of like October, hey, we need a sixth grade pre-athletic group. So now we had to shift all those schedules and balance it out. And we still had classes of, 25, 30 kids in one group. And then and now we have a PE group of 6. And, how do we restructure that? So, there are a lot of things, where we decide to take an initiative on certain type of implementations and it changes, or we have where, now we want to balance it out by tier 1 or tier 2 or by tier 3 instruction. And then we're revamping it. So it is difficult at times because sometimes, as Ms. Cavazos alluded to, it's not necessarily that they can't do it right then and there. It's just that the hierarchy of things take precedent versus others. Because we do have at times where kids are just requesting it and, we're having to kind of wait and you kind of, especially at the beginning of the year, we have to wait till we get the for sure numbers of who's here and who isn't. So I don't know if you guys can kind of expand on that or elaborate.
Yeah, so what we anticipate to be the biggest challenge is that it's a new program. And we are going to have to train our staff. We're going to train them to use this program. It's going to be different from any other way they've scheduled. However, once they do the work of learning, they'll see that it's an easier task. So that's what we anticipate being the most difficult challenge, is having our counselors trained on this and our administrators turn around and use it and implement within a 2-period time. That's one of the reasons we asked for this to come to this meeting rather than wait until our regular board meeting, because that gives us a 2-week kind of jump start. But that's what we anticipate as the biggest challenge. And with the support, one of the things is each school will be assigned somebody from the company that's going to help them schedule. And so we feel that we have enough support between us and from the company that will make that transition as smooth as possible.
You guys, I appreciate, the candidness with the responses and whatever we can do to continue to support you guys, we will definitely do so. Thank you guys.
Mr. Moreno's question, light bulb turned on. If there are glitches in this system or things have to be maybe tweaked at it, do we have to go out and pay for that? Or is that part of what we're purchasing?
No, that's already part of what we purchased. Like
Perfect.
if we do an 8-period and we want to look at 7-period, we can compare both of them pretty
Okay.
quickly once we get all of the information in the system.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Yes, Ms. Carrillo.
Ms. Casey, how many districts are using this software? Are we the only one that's using it at this moment or going into it?
I don't know that answer, but at the training we went to, the reason this came up is the session was actually about staffing. And because all districts are now really challenged by staffing due to enrollment, it is something that's used statewide, but I don't know how many districts. There are a few local districts they're onboarding, but I don't know a number.
So all output that you got was, or, input was all positive in regards to this. That's why y'all chose it. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? No? Well, thank you for thinking outside the box. I applaud you all. Yes, I applaud you all. Thank you so much. I'm going to move is there a motion?
Madam Chair?
Yes, Ms. Carrillo.
I move to approve the purchase of Cardonex Master Scheduling and Staffing Solution Software for 2 one-year renewal subscriptions via the by board contract number 661-22 with an estimate annual amount of $58,202 to be funded from the budget general funds.
Thank you, Ms. Carrillo. Is there a second to
I'll
Ms. Carrillo's
second that.
motion? Thank you, Ms. Limon. I will take the vote. Mr. Luna, yea or nay?
Yay.
Mr. Mancha, yea or nay?
Yay.
Ms. Carrillo, yea or nay?
Yay.
Ms. Limon, yea or nay?
Yay.
Mr. Moreno, yea or nay?
Yay, ma'am.
Ms. Ortiz, yea or nay?
Yes.
Thank you. And myself, yay. So agenda item 3A, motion passes. Moving on to agenda item 3B. Mr. Soto?
Yes, Madam Chair, Board of Trustees, at this time, Dr. Hinojosa's Police Department with Corporal Olivares, our safety officer, and Chief Ramirez will be presenting.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the board. Tonight, we're going to ask to consider and take possible action on an interlocal agreement between the city of Austin and the Harlandale Independent School District. And this is really tied into back in January of 2020, when the board approved to implement a public radio system to enable greater safety and communication within our school district for our staff and for our students. This component would actually be a piece of that. So that radio system is continuing. We're implementing that as of today. We're still implementing that. So this particular item, the Austin Chamber of Commerce, City Council, they authorized the city of Austin to be able to reach out to other local governments to be a part of what they call the Greater Austin Travis County Regional Radio System. So what this interlocal agreement will allow us to do, it'll allow our police officers and the radio system that we're implementing now to have a greater footprint. So they'll be able to access the network that is run regionally by the city of Austin. So that particular unit works with government agencies. And so since we're considered a government agency, we would fall into that. So it's at no cost to the district. It's an interlocal agreement between us and the city of Austin. And what this will allow us to do is to enhance the interoperable ability of the system that we're currently implementing. So it'll give us a greater footprint. So we'll be able to access the radio system and the towers that they have within that system. So if our teams or our schools or any of our campuses are ever traveling outside of our area or in that, they'll be able to access at no cost their towers so we can communicate back to the school district. So what we're asking for this is just to approve the interlocal agreement. Again, it's at no cost to the district. Within the resolution, there is, if there were ever to be a cost incurred, it would be solely for the time that you use it. And based on the interlocal agreement, the city of Austin would have to give us a 120-day notice that they're going to be requesting that. So at that point in time, we can reevaluate whether we're going to be a part of the agreement or not. But at this time, there is no cost for us to be able to access and be a part of it.
Thank you, Dr. Hinojosa. Any comments or questions? Ms. Limon?
Madam Chair, so if we do use it, what we use it for?
So if our teams are traveling, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but if our teams are ever traveling or they go outside of the area that our radio system can currently, we have the capacity for, this gives us a larger footprint where we'll be able to access that radio system. It's also going to be connected, if I'm correct, with DPS and the other state agencies, right, to be able to communicate?
Yes, sir, that's correct. The main caveat of this system is for us to have that interoperability communication with our transportation department anytime they travel outside our San Antonio footprint, when they go out to either Eagle Pass, Laredo, or wherever, we'll still have constant communications with them within the Gator system. That basically we're piggyback off the Texas DPS channels, their frequencies.
Mr. Olivares, do you have problems when you go out there and radio coming back and forth from, if you go to Eagle Pass for a football game? or anything?
Currently, we have no communications with that.
Very interesting.
And that's not just our school district, that's almost every school district.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, at the time, Madam Chair, Ms. Limon, great question. At the time that the bus drivers are to take district cell phones, but as you know how cell phones work, there might be some dead spots from here to there. So this is a radio transmission and part of that system that we've been trying to implement for about 2 years. It's pretty intense system.
Any other questions? Ms. Carrillo?
Madam Chair, this is under the link agreement, it says it automatically renews on October 1st. So this is just going to be a continual?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Well, thank you again for efficiency and especially taking care of our students and families as they travel outside of our area. I
Yes, ma'am.
truly,
Thank you.
truly appreciate that. Safety first, always. Is there a motion on agenda item 3B? Ms. Ortiz?
Yes. I move that we approve the resolution for an interlocal agreement between the city of Austin, Texas and the Harlandale Independent School District to create a connection for public safety communications.
Thank you, Ms. Ortiz. Is there a second on Ms. Ortiz's motion?
I'll
Luna,
second.
Mr. Luna and Ms. Limon. I will take the vote. Mr. Moreno, yea or nay?
Yay, ma'am.
Mr. Luna, yea or nay?
Yes.
Ms. Limon, yea or nay?
Yay.
Ms. Ortiz, yea or nay?
Yes.
Ms. Carrillo, yea or nay?
Yay.
Mr. Mancha, yea or nay?
Yay.
And myself, yay. So agenda item 3B passes. Moving on to agenda item number 4. Ms. Carrillo,
Madam Chair, I move to adjourn.
I will second your motion and I will take the vote. Mr. Mancha, yea or nay to adjourn tonight's meeting?
Yay.
Ms. Ortiz, yea or nay?
Yay.
Mr. Luna, yea or nay?
Yay.
Mr. Moreno, yea or nay?
Yay, ma'am.
Thank you. Ms. Carrillo, yea or nay?
Yay.
Ms. Ms. Limon, yea or nay?
Yay.
And myself, yay. So it is 6:36. Tonight's meeting is now adjourned. Thank you very much for bringing that innovation to our district. Truly appreciate it. Thank you.